ça n'était plus le sien. Vous êtes branlé par les crayons, se dessine un sourire. C'est une larme,
je n'en sais pas.
c'est dans mes yeux,
je ne vois pas.
Prenez ma main,
je n'en veux pas.
je ne la viens. Des perles de pluie venues de pays où il ne pleut pas.
Become a superstar at a very young age. How were you able to handle fame, or were you able to, especially now with
Well, I was not prepared, I have to say, because those days were, I mean, crazy. And it was like really a big wave. It was a revolution. I guess it was all over the world, except it happened a little earlier in the States. But then when it came to Europe, it was huge. It was on all ends, you know. It was a social revolution, musical revolution, and for the first time, teenagers took over and had their own audiences, their own fashion. They dictated things, whereas the preceding generation, I mean, was not the same at all. And we sang rock and roll. I mean, coming from the States mainly, you know, and translated into French. But it was so exciting, and so we had hordes of kids following. You know, it was really so big, and so you know, it put me to hiding literally because I was not at all prepared for that.
You mentioned that Aznavour had written a song for you, which
Yeah.
was absolutely beautiful.
It's really,
How did that come about? How did you get into
you know, Aznavour was always had an ear towards, I mean, in direction of the young people, and he was always, you know, he kind of liked me, and I knew his brother-in-law, and as you know, they're Armenians, and my grandfather, on my grandfather's side, my father's side, they are from Armenian origin, and so, you know, there was a kind of a connection, and I guess he liked me, and he, it inspired him, that cute song, beautiful, fresh, and very young, called La Plus Belle pour aller danser, that actually was a hit all over, and made me famous in Japan. And to this day I toured Japan, and they always ask me to sing this song. Same in France. I guess it made a big impact.
Who were the singers that were an influence to you? Were they any of Americans, or mainly French, or any Americans? Or?
Only Americans.
Only Americans.
I have to say, I grew up in a very musical environment. My dad was a musician, my grandfather was a musician, my brother, who was 7 years older than I was, dictated really my musical taste, because he was a trumpet player, jazz trumpet player. So in that respect, when I was 14, 15, I went with him at the Olympia in Paris, and I saw almost all the jazz men. You know, I saw Duke Ellington's band, I saw Count Basie, I saw Oscar Peterson, I saw all of them, Ella Fitzgerald, and he played in a nightclub called the Blue Note. And then, as I said, he was a trumpet player. Then he became a producer at RCA, and worked with a very famous man who really was almost American, because he loved America, and he was crazy about a jazz fan, and he really pushed this whole generation by creating teenage magazines like Salut les copains, Hello Friends, or I don't know how to translate it, and Mademoiselle Achetendre for the girls was huge. Amazing, and so that was a vehicle as well to promote all the singers of my age. But I was the only one who sang rock and roll, as a matter of fact. I liked Ray Charles, I liked Brenda Lee, of course, Presley, of course. And Brenda Lee was very impressive for me because she was younger than I was, 1 year younger, or the same age. She was 13 when she was singing Just a Little, with her raunchy voice. I liked it, you know. And I actually, when my brother persuaded me to become a singer, I didn't want to sing, basically. I wanted to be an actress, and I wanted to finish my schooling, and and go to the Conservatory of Paris, and because I did a movie when I was 7, and since then my mind was set. I would be an actress. And then life decided differently, and he took me under his wing, and with Philippe Aki, I mean, we did records, and my first record, as a matter of fact, was a duet, but then my solo record was one adaptation from Brenda Lee's song, Just a Little. It was a rock and roll type.
What is the next thing that you're,
my
project?
next step is, first of all, I'm going to perform on the 30th and 1st and 2nd of October in Paris, in a very beautiful theater, which is like an old-fashioned theater, like Italian type, with gold and red, and like the Scala of Milan. And that would be my second time in a theater. It's very classy, and I'm very excited about that. And then afterwards, I'm planning for next year to change my act and to sing with a philharmonic orchestra, and to do to tour the big capitals, and that will be done with Live Nation, and we'll do probably, you know, of course, Sofia, because it's going to be the Bulgarian Philharmonic, of course, because it's very dear to my heart. And we'll go to probably, I mean, London, Paris, of course, and probably New York. Yes, we have a date almost. Good. Almost a date, yeah.
For 30 years. We got Jane Birkin coming, and everybody. And about time, Sylvie Vartan.